was built in around 1900 by an immigrant from Norway. Came to the United States in the hopes of a new start, and she built all of these structures with her own hands, and they still stand in today. The founding of our farm originates right here, I guess.
How has the farm changed throughout your life to where it is now?
Throughout my lifetime, it's been ebb and flow. And so when I was younger, as a child, my father farmed a lot of acres and ran a lot of cattle in partnership with various of his brothers and cousins. And then as he aged, he downsized the farm to make it more manageable for himself into his retirement, put it into CRP, and so it kind of got down to a minimum size. And then as I came back, we started to acquire more properties and farm more ground, and so we started to grow it again.
I guess mostly it's financially, the amount of money, and we knew that going in, that the amount of money it would take to farm just goes up and up and up, and especially in the last couple of years has really ratcheted up.
How do you think the business will continue to change throughout your life?
It's really efficiency driven right now, and it's hard to say how things will change in the future. There's going to be more and more of a push towards the locavore mindset, and so I think there's going to be some opportunities. The challenge is going to be being able to garner the premiums necessary to do it that way. So throughout the course of my career so far, we've largely been just commodity producers, and that's being price takers. So I think the challenge is going to be moving forward, learning how to be price makers and getting the value that you need and deserve. Currently, one of the largest issues that we're dealing with is packer concentration and the corporate structure that has been prevalent and dominating those markets for centuries, and the challenge of being able to compete on a larger scale. It's a double-edged sword, because in a lot of ways we need the meatpacking industry. It allows them to have so much leverage over the final product that we become producers at their mercy. So it's very hard to garner any type of control over the pricing and the market. One of the big challenges right now is that the futures markets have become more and more thinly traded. So there's less and less opportunity to be able to hedge your production. By hedging, it's kind of a price insurance type of model. And so there's getting to be fewer and fewer opportunities for that, which make things more difficult. Just the concentration, I believe, of the meat packers is the biggest issue.
We've come to a point where we're so centralized with the big meat packers controlling everything that the people that are on the ground raising the cattle are just at the mercy of the big packers.
We're predominantly Black Angus based because of her efficiency in our environment. That breed of cow is able to produce a high quality of beef under the conditions that we endure up here, which is a lot of extremes, from heat to dry, short grass to cold, long winters. That typical Black Angus cow is best suited for those environments. Our typical calf will be born on our ranch here in the late spring, early summer. His mother will take care of him out on the prairie, and he will be raised on that cow through that fall and into that winter, when he'll become of weaning age and weight, where we will wean him from his mother, take him and place him into our backgrounding lot, And then from that point, typically he'll be sent back out onto grass in the spring on his own as a group, where they will live their maturing year as a long yearling, eating grass and forage on his own. And then that subsequent fall, he will be sent down to a partner feed yard, and they will take that steer, who at that point will be somewhere in the 900 pound range, and put on the last 300, 400 pounds of beef on him, wherein they will then kill him and typically we retain ownership on them. So they will send him to a packer as a killer steer at that point.
What's the key to being successful in the cattle industry?
To be honest with you, I think that the key to being successful in the cattle industry right now is vertical integration and our ability to grow our own feedstock, to raise our own cattle, and to spread the risk of all those operations amongst each other, and then not have all our eggs in one basket. It takes some luck. It takes some foresight. It takes resiliency, because you're going to have a lot of failures. So you need to be able to take advantage of your successes, and you need to be able to endure your failures and learn from them. I believe it takes a desire to keep learning, a continued evolution, and a willingness to try new things.
What keeps you in agriculture?
What keeps me in agriculture is my love for the land. I love attempting to make it better and shape it. You know, making a living off of it is the bonus that I get to do, but yeah, it's my desire to build soil, and by building soil, you grow better cattle, better crops. You become more efficient. Well, I think really trying to find new avenues for marketing on a more premium scale and getting out of the commoditization of our beef. Well, I'm very hopeful to pass it on to the next generation because I know that there are opportunities there, and figuring out how to do that, take advantage of them. Beyond that, just maintaining status quo, and sticking with a plan that's been working as a base model, while allowing the opportunity to step out and explore new business models, I think is the way forward.
Sure, but I guess in the long run, I hope that we can figure out a way to make the business more profitable with less labor while still sustaining financial viability,
What do you see for the future of the Simonson Cattle Company?
It's a lot more hopeful now that Marshall has come back, and we've always had hope for you or Ella or maybe one of my girls, but yeah, I think now that I see this happening, I'm pretty sure it'll have a continuation, whether it remains a big cattle company or just turns into a farming operation. We'll have to see how the markets go.
I'm hopeful that they will be able to pass it on to the subsequent generation. And I can see an avenue for that happening currently, as we have a fourth generation currently coming back to farm. I think that more than the opportunities afforded, it's the will of the incoming generation to stick to it and find ways to do it is what's going to dictate the way forward. And I guess that's going to be a product of our genetic fortitude handed down from our ancestors, and our raising of our children, and our children's raising of their children. So yet to be determined, but very hopeful for the future.